Hey guys, welcome back to Aftermath. This is episode 3. No thanks to John.
Yeah.
I'm Eric.
I'm John, of course.
So, on this episode, we're going to be talking about what are we talking about, John? This time?
Found footage and documentary films.
Yes, found footage movies. So, there have been some good ones, but some bad ones.
Yeah, and most recently we watched End of Watch. It actually wasn't recently; it's been a while.
Yeah,
but I have a lot of baggage.
yeah. It was supposed to be pretty recently, but either way, there's not a whole lot to talk about. It wasn't good.
Wasn't good.
Wasn't good.
I should probably stay away from it.
I would skip it.
What did you like about it?
Oh man, what did I like about it? Jake Gyllenhaal was actually pretty good, if we're just talking about acting.
Mm-hmm.
And then the chemistry between him and Michael Pena, that's who it was, right?
Yeah, that was the only good part.
Yeah. Those two guys, chemistry between them was really good, but everything else, not so good.
I was going in there expecting a movie version of Cops, like the TV show.
Yeah.
Which is actually better than this movie.
Yeah.
Because it's actually a one stationary camera, and this had him rigging up cameras, but yet there's also a documentary style filming with the narrative of the movie.
Right.
So there's two filmings going on at
Uh-huh.
the same time, and it threw me out.
Yeah, so there's rules for found footage movies, and they did claim this to be one, or they did claim it to be a found footage movie. But the rule, basically, the number one rule is there should always be a source for where the shots are coming from. There should always be an explanation why this is being shot from where it's being shot at. This movie, like John said, they show him at the beginning, like he's got his little handy camera, whatever that thing is that he's showing around the police station, and that's fine. He's like telling him to stop cussing because he's got to edit it out when he puts it on YouTube or whatever, and that's fine. But then later on, you start seeing shots that are just coming from nowhere, and that would be fine if he said he had a documentary crew following him around, but he didn't.
There's none.
There's just camera shots coming from nowhere. So,
And it's really crazy when it's it's on his chest, it's a low angle, he's talking to his partner, but then it's the other shot, reverse shot, where it's perfectly fine, like Jake Gyllenhaal talking.
yeah.
And it's like, what? I thought this was just going to be like Jake Gyllenhaal's cameras following them around, or cameras on their squad car, or anything like that. But it wasn't. It was actually like a documentary style filming.
There were even helicopter shots, which made no sense. But
Yeah,
there you have
it went from the found footage to when it went to like establishing shots to actual film, like giant film shots, like
Right.
of the aerial stuff. That's like, it was fantastic looking, but that's not part of the movie.
Yeah. Well, on top of the just shots coming from nowhere, as far as the story of the movie goes, I mean, wow, it's just so contradictory. If that's even a word, I don't even know if is contradictory a word.
It is in my book.
It
yeah.
is now.
I heard it, so it must be real.
Well, at the beginning of the movie, it starts out, first thing you hear is Jake Gyllenhaal giving this really cool monologue about how I'm a police officer because, I believe in honor and we do for the law, and the law is the law. That's it.
Even if you don't agree with it.
Even if you don't agree with it, it's the
I
law.
followed the law.
What, 20 minutes later, they're already like beating some dude's face in for no reason, kicking down his door, like breaking just about every law there is.
Yeah, it was terrible.
So, yeah, the whole movie is basically just cops like trying to bust people, but going about it in very legal ways. So it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, the whole movie was contradictory of
So-
itself. How about the villains?
Villains.
Yeah, villains.
Every minority
Every
on the earth,
except
except the cop. That's a Mexican.
that's Mexican.
Yeah.
Is there any white people that were
No,
villains?
were there any white people in the movie besides Jake Gyllenhaal? Who?
That one guy got a knife stabbed in his eye.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he lived because he's white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when bad things happen to white people, I get angry. I don't like that.
That's why they made the movie. They made it for you.
And what about that? What about that ending?
Oh man, that ending. So again, we said this in a previous episode. If you want to see this movie, I don't know why. Stop it right now because I'm about to blow it open for you. At the end of the movie, the whole movie, you're trying to basically bust this gang of a bunch of Mexican dudes and a chick who looks like Marilyn Manson. well, they chase him down this alleyway and they shoot Jake Gyllenhaal, and he's dead. And then he's dead because he gets shot in the like. Michael Pena comes over and is like, "Don't die on me," and he's like, guts blushing out from underneath his chest. He's shot in like his heart, guts blushing out. And
There's a death
like,
scene.
"Don't die on me." Yeah, the dude is dead.
And it's not. He actually has a death scene where he slowly stops breathing.
Yeah. And then Michael Pena's all mad, and they just unload AKs into him, and he's like dead. Then all the cops come and kill all the gang members. Then at the very end, you see a cop funeral, and you're like, man, they died. They died, honoring the law.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Yeah.
And then here it goes, carrying the casket, pans over to Jake Gyllenhaal, right as rain.
White Knight survives.
So that's End of Watch in a nutshell. All the white guys live, all the minorities die. The end.
Michael Pena was a bullet catcher. Like none of the bullets went through his body into Jake Gyllenhaal.
He absorbed every bullet.
Jake Gyllenhaal, he was literally laying on Jake Gyllenhaal. None of the bullets, armor-piercing AK-47 bullets, never went through him to kill.
All that kinetic energy stopped in
his body absorbed every shell.
So, needless to say, I think we've been on this for far too long. Just don't watch it. Just skip it. If you want to see a good found footage movie this year, let's talk about VHS. VHS was fantastic. Basically, for those of you who don't know, I'll try to remember to link a trailer for the movie there in the comments below, or in the description below. But basically, what it is, it's these guys get hired to go and steal this VHS tape from this house. They don't know what's on the tape, yada yada. That's not important. That story's not important. They go to this house, they find these tapes, and it shows them watching the tape. And then there's 5 of them or 6. There's either 5 or 6. I can't remember. Different tapes they watch, and each tape is just its own little story about 20 minutes or so, and they're each very different. They're not connected anyway. After they watch the tape, basically they show a little bit of the main story. I use that loosely because it's not really much of a story, like I said.
The main thread.
Yeah, the main thread. The whole reason why the tapes exist. And then they watch another tape.
Yeah, and it's great. It's I want to say cute little movie, horror flick.
Cute little horror movie
that uses found footage correctly.
Yeah.
Rather than End of Watch.
Yeah.
And it's also fun because each story that they find in the videotape has its own mythology, and of course it's all taking place in the same world.
They each do a really good job of basically setting up what's going on. Here's the problem. Here's the end. They each do a really good job of telling their own story in the short amount of time they have.
And they kept me interested.
Yeah, you wanted to see the next tape.
Well, I wanted to keep watching more of the same one. Like I would rather see like 5 movies, 5 full-length movies out of each one of those short stories.
Yeah, each one of those really held their own.
But of course, they don't need to, because each one had its own beginning, middle, end.
Yeah, each one takes something that's sort of a well-known. Like if you watch the trailer, there's you'll see I don't know what she's supposed to be, a vampire, monster
Succubus.
Girl, succubus type thing. I've seen it a million times. They do it in this movie in such a way that it's actually interesting.
Scary. That woman who was the succubus. Wow, scary. She herself freaked me out.
Yeah.
Even before it got to the main juicy
That
parts.
chick's eyes, man. If you watch the trailer, like I said, she's one of the main parts of that trailer. It's pretty creepy, but it's really cool. We really like that movie.
So there was the first one. We had the succubus. Three guys trying to roofie some chicks, and turns out one of them's like a succubus.
Yeah.
One of them was almost kind of like the Blair Witch Project, where a friend leads them into the forest.
Uh-huh.
She baits them to kill these digital, invisible killers that you can only see through VHS tape.
Yeah, she's trying to get those killers back for killing her friends in the past.
And there's little flashbacks because it's through the video.
Yeah, and I gotta say on that too, the way that they do those digital, I don't know, the invisible guys, sort of like Predator thing. You can kind of tell just because you're looking through we're watching it through a tape.
It's little digital artifacts.
That's why we can see it. They can't see it, but we can see it because it's artifacting around them. It's done really, It's really cool the way they look.
So, out of all of the 5, which one was your favorite?
Which one was my favorite? It's hard to say. What do you think? Which one's your favorite?
The first one with the succubus was that it just started. I needed that one to start off all of them.
Yeah.
Like with that one, it just kept going up. But I think my favorite one would be the webcam doctor.
Yeah. So that's sort of more like Paranormal Activity, where the chick's talking to her boyfriend, fiance, whatever he
Who's
is,
in med school.
who's in med school, and she's having these problems with ghosts in her apartment, and that's another. You'll see that in the trailer too, and it looks, oh man, that's Paranormal Activity ripoff. And then you watch it, it's not
It's got
that
a whole
at all.
other story of its
Oh
own.
yeah, it's completely
way more creative.
like
than,
maybe
Paranormal
I think they
Activity
did
movie.
that one to sell it maybe a little bit in the trailer.
Yeah.
It's paranormal. Looks like Paranormal Activity.
People love ghost stories.
Yeah, and then you watch it, it's like, whoa, they put
That's
a whole new
not
twist on this. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really cool one. I think
mean-
my favorite might be the last one, where
last
the
one,
where
the
the
haunted
dudes,
house?
yeah, the dudes are going.
That was a really good one.
Yeah.
They're all really good,
Yeah.
except I have to say, I mean, like I know the jump off point. The main thread wasn't too strong. The guys finding the VHS tapes and
Right,
like, of course that was needed, but that was the weakest one
right.
out of all of them. But the movie wasn't about that. The movie was about these 5 stories, and each one of them was done really well.
Yeah, yeah, it was awesome. So definitely go check it out. It was on video on demand. I think it still is, and it comes out this month sometime. It actually comes out to theaters. I don't know how many theaters it's going to, but at least check it out online.
Yeah, even if you're tired of found footage or anything like that, it does it right.
a fresh
it's,
take.
It's a fun movie. It's
Yeah.
a fun horror flick. It's one of the, I don't know, I can't think of. It's probably the best horror movie I've seen this year.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I mean, Cabin in the Woods was good.
that was a satirical
Yeah,
take on
But,
horror
as far as a straight up horror movie, that one definitely the best one I've seen so far.
so far. Yeah.
Although
I
I
haven't seen
haven't-
many this year.
I haven't seen that many either. I haven't seen them all for sure, but yeah, definitely check that one out.
That was the most fun.
Now, another really good found footage movie that I really liked, and I think you did too, John, was Chronicle.
Yes,
That movie was awesome.
I love superheroes.
Yeah,
And when I saw the trailer, I thought it looked stupid.
me too.
When I saw the premise about like, teenagers getting powers, it looked like an MTV movie.
Yeah,
it
it really
it
did.
really looked
Yeah,
terrible.
written by Max Landis, who's a favorite among our circle.
John
He-
Landis' son.
Yeah, John
That was
Landis' son. He did a really cool Death of Superman video.
Oh, so funny.
That is so funny and so true about if you're a comic fan, you have to see it. And I'll try to link that in the description too if I remember, because everyone should see that. It's awesome.
He's a screenwriter and he's a good storyteller.
Yeah, he really is. That
when it
movie,
comes to anything.
what I took away from that movie, as far as a found footage movie goes, is the fact that every shot that they had, because there were multiple camera angles, every shot they had was like you knew where it was coming from. I watched an interview with Max Landis, and he said that found footage movies, another one of the rules of found footage movies is you want to see where the next shot is coming from. Like if they're shooting something and the next scene's going to be from this guy's iPhone or whatever, like you'll see that guy's iPhone in the previous shot.
Yeah.
So it makes sense where it's coming from. You're not just like thrown in somewhere where you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and it was really neat how they use like the security cameras throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And then of course at the Seattle tower thing with everybody was inside and they had the iPads. And
Yeah, and
because every kid has an iPhone.
he ripped all their stuff out from them and it was all spinning around him.
And it works.
Which not just the shots of the movie, but the story I thought was really cool. It reminded me a lot of Akira. Actually.
Akira, definitely.
When I got through watching that movie, I was like, man, that's about as close to a live action Akira movie that I think we're gonna probably get.
Yeah, and like the effects were really good too.
Yeah.
Like when they flew out of the window or when he came out of the house, you can see the cut, but it was really well done. And it and especially like when he moves the car, he moves like that BMW, like
Yeah.
the trailer, like it's really believable,
Yeah,
very believable.
it's a little bit old now. I think it came out last year, so it's been out a little
It's
while.
been out, has it been a year?
I think so. Yeah,
Well, you know what's been out longer? Cloverfield.
Cloverfield. Yeah,
Another found footage movie that we both enjoy. I think.
I did enjoy it. That was like I don't know. It's the first one I remember coming off of and being like, man, I really liked that movie.
Oh yeah.
What I liked most about it though is I was really jazzed about it because of the secrecy behind it. before it came out. No one knew anything about that movie.
Like the Godzilla movie in 1998.
Yeah.
Where it was like nobody knew.
They were so like tight-lipped
So
about it.
good.
I thought that it could be a Godzilla movie.
Yeah,
I
thought it was
went into that
Godzilla.
thinking this might be actually a new Godzilla
They're
movie.
doing this again.
Yeah. So that was really good. Like I said, the hype to that movie was even better than the movie to me. It was just such a payoff, the weight of not knowing, and then because nowadays you can just about any trailer you watch seems like it shows all the movie.
Yeah.
Cloverfield, you had no idea.
Yeah, no, you never saw the monster, and that movie had a lot of great characters in it too. Like
Yeah.
Chronicle had a lot of good
Yeah.
characters, and even for a short-lived time and VHS, like each little 10-minute story had good characters, and that's what really matters. I mean, kids are making they are shooting movies on their iPhones these days.
Yeah.
And as long as you have character,
That's
I
what
think
it's all
I
about.
think that's what. Yeah, I think that's what.
Something you at least care a little bit about, especially in VHS where they have so little time to do it. They establish these characters. You actually kind of care what happens to them. You want to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, and you know, like in the Blair Witch Project, it had there was only 3 of them,
Yeah.
and you got to know these 3 out over the time, and then they into their madness,
Right.
and then they separated them and became that mystery. That's really fun to watch. That was very novel when it came out.
Yeah. Of course, Blair Witch Project being definitely not the first found footage movie ever, but I think that was the first one to sort of take it a little bit to the mainstream.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it may have taken a while, but
Blew
that
it
was the
up.
first one that it's just shot on basically nothing.
What kills me the most is that movie's like probably the oldest one, and it has more shaky cam in it than any of these new ones. And like figured it'd get worse, especially like when you look at the Bourne movies when he comes with that quick motion camera, quick moving, shaking the frame.
Yeah.
Like it gets sickening. Blair Witch Project did. Like, I watched it when I was like 10. I got a little sick watching it. Like it took me out. But I was expecting that from Cloverfield. I thought Cloverfield was going to be nothing but running up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
Turns out it really wasn't, and it didn't take it out of it either. It didn't feel fake. Like, oh man, they're holding this perfectly, like on a tripod.
Yeah.
But it really did.
Well, I did hear a lot of complaints about people getting headaches and getting sick.
See,
I think
I
that was just. Yeah, I watched it a couple times in theaters, and I never felt that. I'm not saying that those people didn't, but I don't know. I think it was just because it was so big at the time.
Again, I thought Blair Witch Project was worse about it.
Yeah.
You know.
No, but again, I didn't get that from Blair Witch Project. I was pretty young when it came out, but it definitely scared kind of the crap out of me.
So what was the shaky cam you were telling me about? Troll Hunter?
Troll Hunter, yeah. Not necessarily shaky cam, but Troll Hunter is a movie that apparently no one has seen.
I don't know. I don't remember when it came out, but I just never got to.
It's a Finnish movie, and totally took me by surprise. I saw it on Netflix one day, and I was just like, in my mind instantly went to Troll 2, and I was like, oh, it's going to be terrible. I just want to watch a terrible movie, just to have fun. And turns out I really liked it. Like, it's about these kids who are shooting a documentary for a college class about how these bears are getting killed. No one knows who's doing it, and they think they found the guy who did it. They think they got a break in their story, so they follow him. Turns out he's like a Finnish troll hunter. Like he's the dude that like when because in this world trolls exist.
He's like the
And
Van
they
Helsing
can't-
of troll hunting.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, he's more of like a groundskeeper almost because that kills trolls. Basically, these trolls can't leave their areas.
Okay.
They can't come out and do stuff
So
in
that's
their areas.
that's their weakness.
When they step out, no, he's their weakness. When they step out of line and they go places they're not supposed to, he goes and kills them. That's
Wow.
basically it. They have zones.
So like vampires have garlic and steak. So what gets these trolls into
Sunlight. Some of them.
sunlight?
Yeah, not all of them, but most of them are sunlight. And he's got this like sunlight gun on his truck.
Sounds
But
like
yeah,
some people I know
he's-
that are.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, it's really cool because this guy's like this really old, gnarly dude, and they follow him, find out he's a troll hunter, and he's basically just like, you know what? I'm so tired of doing this. It's all politics. Oddly enough, and he's like, I don't care. Just film me. If you guys want to put your lives in danger, you can film me. And they just film him going around taking care of his business.
Sweet. It's
really good.
That sounds like a show on History Channel or Discovery or any of those reality.
Yeah, and the
based
cool
TV
thing about that
stations
movie
now.
is obviously The
Fuck
trolls
it
are
up.
obviously the trolls are CG.
Yeah, I saw some of those. They
Yeah,
really look like
they,
a meshed work.
they
pretty
do.
well.
Yeah, they do look really good. For CG, they look really good. Just the way they do it. So that's definitely one to check out if you haven't seen it. It's on. I'm pretty sure it's still on Netflix. So
Yeah, I mean, but so let's see. We got superhero found footage. We have we have Cops the movie.
yeah.
Thing to watch. Horror films most likely are found footage movies. Are we missing anything? Like what else hasn't been a found? I'm waiting for my family drama found footage movie.
Well,
I'm-
they need to have like a Vince Vaughn rom com.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
They haven't done that yet.
so if you're out there,
We should do that.
yeah, we should. If
We
you're
should
out there
do
and you're interested in maybe penning a script or something, screenplay, let us know, and we'll make it happen.
Dude, I'll do that.
I think one of our friends has Vince Vaughn's number. Oh, and a big shout out to Kevin Blockhead
Kevin Block.
because he made our fantastic.
You see that little cover?
Yeah, that cover. He made that. That's
He drew it.
awesome. He drew it with his own hand. Another shout out to our opening theme song, Cody Lee. Cody Lee.
Lee Couch.
Yes.
He's a
And,
wonderful musician.
Yes. He's awesome. So I'll post links to their stuff in the description below too. So definitely check those guys out because very
Please.
thankful for that stuff. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Because we definitely couldn't do any of that stuff ourselves.
Everybody's coming together.
Yeah, coming together to make this happen for you guys. So let us know what you think. Did we not talk about some found footage movies that you liked? Let us know.
Yeah.
Let us
Did
know.
you get sick at any?
Yeah,
What did your Ralph look like?
yeah. If you came out of that movie throwing up, we need to know what you ate.
Did you puke on somebody?
Yeah, and if so, are they still your friend? Those are the hard hitting topics we need to know about. So let us know in the comments, and maybe we'll talk
We'll
about
be
that
back next time.
All right, thanks for listening, guys.
Later.